the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
We now return to Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze, sponsored today by Colobarts Entertainment. Learn more at colobartsent.com.
Thank you for joining us today on Desertwood Days. Let's welcome our next guest, actor, Mr. Patrick Giglio. Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. You better give me a hug.
Okay. Great to see you.
Good to see you. I got to tell y'all, I've been trying to get Patrick here since season 1, and we finally got him, so I'm excited.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Patrick, you have been so busy out in the industry. I've been watching you. You've been working, and you've been doing some exciting things.
Thank you.
So I'd like to also start off by saying, where are you originally from?
So I was born and raised in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
I'm a native, yeah.
Me too.
But my father got sick about the time I was in 8th grade, and so we moved to Michigan.
Okay.
So during my time in Michigan, I met a young man named Shane Mahan, who went on to Hollywood. He's a multi-Academy Award-winning artist, like a special effects artist.
Okay.
So my first time in acting was back in 1981.
Oh,
We did a
okay.
remake of Frankenstein together.
Oh, okay.
Where it was...
Is that who inspired you to get into the industry?
Yes. So what we did was he hung me from a tree, and he had already figured out a way to do a harness over my shoulders so that the snap would be in my shoulders, not my neck, thank goodness.
Right.
But it was just a very cool experience. So that was my first acting experience back in 1981. And then nothing from that point on until moving back out here after graduating high school and college.
Okay, so after you got back here, you got back into the industry?
So by luck, my wife was working for an apartment complex. Hi, Lisa. And one of her residents was a filmmaker named Tom Proctor.
Okay.
And he was looking for actors, and so asked if I would audition. And the role that he wanted me to play was very stunt heavy. So the first way I got into acting was a lot of stunts.
Oh, okay.
Fight scenes, building falls. The highest falling that I've ever done is about 50 feet into an inflatable mattress.
Wow.
But,
Okay.
And that's a whole different world
Good
there.
thing you weren't afraid of heights, huh?
I'm terrified if you're up there, but me, no, not so much. If you're looking over, it bothers me. But not myself.
Yes, good. So, so you started off doing a lot of stunts.
Mhm.
So is that a benefit for you now as an actor? Has that benefited your career as an actor?
Yeah, I really think so, because quite honestly, I know what it takes to do the scenes that, the rough and tumble scenes. Like not too long ago, I was in a film where I had to do a tuck and roll out of a moving car, and I'm up there in the years now, so I was doing that when I was about 53. And once you learn how to roll properly, it doesn't hurt as bad.
Oh, okay.
But
Do you train others on that?
No, but I've been with some folks that we've worked together to learn our stunts prior to.
Okay.
I'm not a coach or anything like that, but I can show you how to do.
But you've been your
Yes.
experience, you've done. But
Yeah.
if you see someone on set doing it wrong, you don't want them to get hurt.
I don't want them to hit their head or break their arm or whatnot. So
Right. You know what, Patrick, you have this distinct look about you. You just have this look. And I'm sure you get typecast in certain roles.
Yes.
Is there something that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
Well, I saw this interview. I believe it was with Tom Hanks, and he said something like, every actor should be willing to step outside their norm and do any kind of role. So, funny you say this. My film crew that I was working with at the time, we decided to enter the A3F, and
I haven't done one of those in years.
I know, I haven't either. And so we wrote a comedy where I played a very effeminate gay man.
Okay.
So it was completely different than any role I had ever done. And
was that with Gary Herkimer?
Yep.
I knew it.
Happy endings. Yep. And so I really went outside of my norm. Normally I'm playing a cop or a dad or.
There's no telling what Gary gonna have you doing.
Well,
but I love you, Gary.
Yeah, Gary's great. But yeah, so.
But I bet that was fun.
It was fun. It was fun being something completely different.
Yes, that's part of being an actor.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, being able to be something different. I always tell people it's not about you, it's about the character.
Right.
It's like, you know what, I don't wear that or I don't do that. It's not about you.
No. Check your ego at the door, my acting coach once told me.
Yes.
Everybody inside this room is the same.
Need a sign to put that up there and say that says that. Because people think that acting is about them.
Yeah.
No, it's about giving.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people forget to give.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that you played that you know what, that shows that your range, I think, and your willingness to give.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the other thing, I've always wanted to play a very sensitive dad role, so I was able to do that as well. And
okay.
My problem is, and I think a lot of male actors, when we cry, if we let ourselves go too far, it's more of a blubbering cry. It's an ugly cry. So it's okay to get a couple of tears. So that's what I was able to do. I was able to get to that point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You have to know how to control it because it can get to that point.
Yes.
And when it's time to stop, you still want to keep crying. No, it's like your crying is over, girl.
Back
Stop
to one.
it.
Back to one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I used to be at that point. I used to say, I can't cry. I'm not a big baby. I can't cry. Until I had to cry for this scene once. And you know what? And I'm like, it wasn't Kathy. It was that character that was crying. It wasn't me. And you know, when you're into it, you're going to do what's needed for that role, for that character, I should say. So you've done this for a long time, Patrick. Is there something that you want to do? I mean, a role that you want, a character that you want to portray?
You know, I've played, I played the Punisher in a fan film, and that was always my favorite comic book character. That's the guy I really wanted to play. I want to play a president. I want to be the president of the United States.
Okay.
And I want to be the kind of president that says it like it is. No candy coating. Just, if I don't agree with something, I'm going to say it. And I want to be that type,
Okay.
But I've never played a congressman or a senator or anything like that. So a president would be fun.
So
that would
something
be the
like
role.
that is what you like to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. I mean, you have to set these goals for yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, if it's not something someone else creates, we're in the industry, create a film, create it a shorter, do it yourself.
That's true.
Yeah, but we got filmmakers listening. You never know who's going to come up with something one day.
Pick me. Right? Yeah.
So you've done so much in the industry, and I've known you for a long time, Patrick, and I've seen you working and out there. You see people out there doing so much.
Right.
And it's great to see when someone, I don't want to say made it because I don't think no one's here has made it yet where they want to be.
Sure.
But you've accomplished things.
Right.
So I saw a new poster that you have. So you have a new film coming out called Remnant Falls. Tell us a little bit about your character in Remnant Falls.
Okay. So Remnant Falls, I play a cop, and I happen across this suit, basically. And if you can get it to actually activate, it enhances your abilities.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I don't want to say RoboCop, but it's kind of like that type of thing without all that gadgets and stuff. But basically, my character is a cop that's protecting this city from outsiders.
Okay.
There's hardly any crime, and we don't allow outsiders in. And this one guy makes it into town, and then things start happening. So that's all that I will divulge. But yeah, it was a cool role.
Because that's enough. Because I know you guys have a premiere coming out.
Yeah.
So we want
30th.
people to go see it. So we don't want to give out too much information.
Exactly.
Who are some of the other stars in the film?
Isaac Joel is one. Brett Ligenfelder.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and I'm sorry, Brett, if I said your last name wrong.
Yes.
But yeah, he plays.
He was a guest on the show also.
Is that right? Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So he was in it as well, and then Mighty Brown, I think is the name. Yeah. So I got to work with him. He's pretty cool. And then so anyway, so a lot of cool people that were in it.
Is this a feature?
It is a feature film.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you guys film that? Was it last year?
Last year.
Last year. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. That's your new film that's premiering this month.
Yes.
Woo, that's
I know, right?
Totally excited. I'm excited because it got so many great local talent involved in it, and I've seen some of the pictures out on social media, and it looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Isaac Joel's a very talented filmmaker,
Yes.
so it should be a good film.
He's quite the visionary. I mean, you know,
Yes.
everything that we did was straight from what he wanted to see.
Mhm.
You know, wanted to convey onto the screen. So
Right,
I look forward to it.
That's awesome, and that's the way it should be.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, there's nothing worse than you having a vision than it's getting changed by someone else. So
Right.
I love when filmmakers stick to their vision. I mean,
Exactly.
sometimes it's always great to have some outside advice, but you know, it's great to stick with the vision that you have.
Right.
So what was it like for this character? You said it was sort of like RoboCop. What was it like for you playing this character?
Right. So yeah, first of all, I had to get into this this outfit, and when I walked on set, everybody else didn't have one, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you look great! That looks great!" You know, and it's all lit up, and so once you're in the costume, it, like you were saying earlier, you become this other character.
Right.
So I was very solemn, very matter of factly.
All right.
You know, that was my character. So the first scene that we engage, it's very intense. It's one of
was
those.
Was it fight scenes?
No, this one wasn't. But
Oh.
this one was just more facial acting.
Oh, okay.
You know, where you notice and your reaction to what you're seeing
Right.
is what sells the moment.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's
Right.
pretty intense, but
That is,
yeah.
and you know what you just said comes from a seasoned actor, and that was one thing I started to post the other day when we were in our group, and we'll talk about that later. Is, you know, a lot of people, they're like, you know, I'm this, my character, this, you know, a character. People don't listen. It's about responding and listening to whoever's speaking to you, and a lot of people don't do that because we want to overtalk the other
Right.
person, and we don't, or we want to respond where it's already here.
Right.
My answer is already here,
exactly.
and a lot of people, they don't know that is not the way we communicate
No.
normally. I'm sitting here, I need to listen to what Patrick is saying to me.
Mhm.
So that was what your character was doing, looking around.
Right.
Was that one of the shots from your poster?
It was right before that. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was when I actually stepped out of where I was and then adjusted my ear mic. And so yeah, the posters. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a really cool poster.
You know what? If I tell you, if I think it was Sean Berube that
Right.
posted, if he hadn't tagged you, I wouldn't have known that was you.
That was me.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that
Sean is a great guy. I enjoyed working with him on
I had to
Punishment.
say that. I can't even say the word. That's Daz. That's a bad poster.
Yeah.
So I know you brought some media.
I did.
Let's take a look at that. And that's the poster.
That is.
That is awesome.
Thank you. So if you look at the work here, it was all molded to my body.
Oh,
So it fit only me, which was really cool. First of all, you know, to be fitted for it, but then
Right.
knowing that it was basically mine.
so did you know when you were cast for
Mhm.
this that this was what you were going to be, who you were going to be?
Yeah. So he asked me. He said, "Look, I mentioned Punishment a minute ago. It's a Punisher fan film. He saw that and he really liked what I was doing. Right. So he wanted that character kind of into this character, and so
okay.
you know that rough and tough Frank Castle type character. So that's what I was here. Very, very few words. Very, very stern. Very,
So was there anything that you had to do and getting prepared for this character?
Well, I had to jump out of a moving truck. So with all this on, you know, it was kind of tough. So what I ended up doing is just doing the little side over the rail of the truck so that nothing came off. Basically, the
okay.
first jump I went airborne landed. But as far as the character goes, no, it was kind of a combination of just what he wanted, his vision for the character,
Okay.
and then how I wanted to convey that.
Right.
You know, did I want to bring the gun out or did I want to fight?
Well, I gotta say this, Patrick, and not to say that you ain't always in shape, brother, but you look pretty ripped there, right there. So did what did you do to get that look? Was there some workouts going on there?
So at that time, I was literally doing 10 sets of 20 pull-ups, 10 sets of 20 dips, 10 sets of 20 push-ups every day. And so that was just to try to get the upper body up.
Yes. Well, you managed. You did it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I know you're also a part of another. You're just busy, man. You're just busy. You have a new film coming out next year, and I'm a part of that film, and I'm happy to work with you. Let's talk a little bit about your character. The film is called Eye for an Eye.
Eye for an Eye, yes.
That name tells you a lot, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your character.
So my character, Muddy Waters, is a mob boss. Now, the way I look at him is he's from the old country. He came here, and there's a certain way things happen there that he's trying to bring out here.
Right.
And so he is no nonsense, cares about his people. Everybody else, watch out. So he is tough, not very fair to the people that he's up against.
Right.
And but he's, you know, I look at him kind of like Michael Corleone. In that movie, you know, in Godfather. You know, he had the soft moments, but he had the very, very tough moments where he had to be. I'm kind of pulling that out of it.
Right.
You know, so.
And that's how he protected his family.
Right.
He had to have those tough moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I look forward to seeing you bring that character to life.
Thank you.
I think I've read the script. There's a lot of meat to it.
There is.
You have a lot of opportunity to bring. You have a lot of opportunity to bring Patrick into that character also,
right.
And to develop it into whom you want him to be.
Right.
I mean, just like the little background you just did on him. So you have a lot of opportunity to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I look forward to it, and you know, working with you is going to be a thrill because I think our scenes are going to be so face-to-face dynamic.
Yes.
You know, they're not pleasant, so I'll apologize ahead of time.
Right.
But you know,
well, you know what, you have two strong people coming together, and they have two different agendas. So I mean, that's going to be interesting.
What's that saying? When worlds collide, that's us.
You have a lady boss, a male boss, and one thinks that he's above the other one, and the other one think. So that's going to be a really interesting thing to see. Yeah. So other than that, are there any other new projects or anything that you're working on?
So I also write. I've been writing for probably the last 5-6 years, and I've written a couple of feature films. One is called Walk a Mile. It's about a sales executive that's having a bad day, and he goes on a walk, and he's texting and stuff, doesn't pay attention, walks into an intersection, and he's about to get hit by a car. And this young man pushes him out of the way. So before the young man dies, he says, "Find my son, tell him I love him." That's it. I always get emotional. But so he has to find out who that guy was and what was going on, right? So it develops into a very, very cool feature. I wrote a film about the military, and of course, happy endings. And so, yeah, I love writing. I think writing is the best way to express yourself. And
yes, it is.
You know,
that film really touched you.
It did.
Is that personal?
Well, it is. It's a triple redemption movie. If it's kind of along the line of the spiritual film. It just touches me because of what everybody has to go through in order to get to the end game. You know what I mean? So that one touched me. And then I wrote a film that Gary and I worked on called In a Blink of an Eye. And it was about my brother. He accidentally shot himself. So the whole film was about what led up to that moment, where, you know, all the, you know, the sadness and the pain that he was going through. So But I like telling stories that are going to touch you.
Right.
Obviously, they touch me,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like if I can, convey it, if I can tell the story properly, it's going to touch more people.
Right. And you know what? Because you went through it, someone else may have gone through it as well. So they may need to hear that, see that, and get that closure also.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Patrick, where can our audience find you?
Well, we're friends on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I have a YouTube page.
Okay.
So yeah, let me
Patrick
know
Giglio.
if you need me. I'm here.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
It was
you.
such a pleasure. And thank you for joining us here today on Desertwood Days, and we'll catch you next time.
Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze was sponsored today by Colobarts Entertainment. Visit them at colobartsent.com.